Hi everyone, my name is Christiana and today I'm here with Natalie Bowen and we are going to be talking all about her life, her journey, dance, and mental health. And I firstly want to say that I started Teenage Mental Love because I realized how many people were affected by mental health but how little people were speaking on it. And I feel like all age groups are affected by mental health and it's really important to have in today's age and society, and especially with social media too, of course. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview, and we're gonna jump right into it. Yes. So firstly, I wanted to ask you, how are you doing right now, and how's your mental health?
So I'm doing good, but Corona isn't the best because I haven't felt like myself, like not being able to play with my
Yeah.
friends and like actually go like
Yeah.
in the studio to dance.
Mhm.
Like, because right now we're doing outdoor dance
Oh,
and
wow.
it's just not the same because we have to wear masks and we can't touch each other to stay 6 feet.
Wow.
And my grandma, I like love going to her house. I always visit her.
Mm.
But right now, because my grandpa was just diagnosed with cancer,
Yeah.
I'm not really allowed to go into their house.
Mm.
So I have to go in the backyard, and it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, I completely understand. And I was actually going to ask you, yeah, how are you doing during this time? Because I know this is really hard, especially for a dancer not being in the normal schedule, not keeping up with, classes and having to do so much at the same time. And I wanted to ask you also, how are you doing? Like, what are you doing to cope? Because what you're going through is tremendously, really can affect someone mentally, and you're really strong for going through that. And I wanted to ask you, how are you coping?
So I just I'm very I'm Christian and I pray every night that like Corona gets better and everybody gets better and that I can see my grandma and grandpa and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I feel like every time I pray, God does something to help me
Yeah.
and it always gets better and I just stay positive. I don't want to bring people down or myself down.
Of course.
And so
Yeah. No, I completely understand. That was amazing. Also, that's so true. I know a lot of people are really connecting with their faith during this time, and it can really help. And I absolutely love that so much. And I do the same too. And I feel like that really, really does help. And that's amazing and wonderful. And I wanted to also ask you, is something when you're connected with your faith, is that something that really helps you mentally, especially like you said, I know you said that's how you cope, but also like if you're going through anything else, does that really help you through the hard times?
yes, like whenever I don't feel good and I have like a tummy ache or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
I always pray that it feels better and it feels better in like 15 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
And it always
Wow.
helps.
Yes, yes, of course. And in addition to like focusing on your faith, and of course, I want to also ask you: does dance help you with like expressing yourself and like releasing any like if you had a hard day or something or school was really hard? Do you like to do dance? To like express yourself or release all that stress?
Okay, so I do dance like because I love it and it's fun. I don't like really do it to like release anything, but like when I'm dancing, I feel like the music and like how like what the song's saying, and I really interpret it into my dancing and like the acting that's also in the dancing
Of
to
course.
like help.
Yeah.
So yes and no.
Yeah, of course. I completely understand. And also, how long have you been dancing?
I've been dancing. Well, I did mommy and me classes when I was like 2,
Yeah.
but I've been dancing since I was about 5.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. And also,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. And also, do you believe that dance is going to be something that you want to do for the rest of your life? Like, find a career in it?
Yes, I want to teach at competitions and be judging,
Yeah.
and I also want to continue acting and modeling.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
yes,
that's amazing. And this is so random, but I wanted to ask you, have you ever watched Dance Moms before?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I'm not really up to date on it, but
oh yeah.
I've seen the old ones.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I was gonna say, just like I know like Maddie, like she started off really young, and then she has a career, and all of the girls too, and that's amazing, to coach and do something like that. and you can find a
Yeah.
huge career. Yeah, you can find like such a huge career in that, and I love that. And also, you said acting and modeling are those two things that you're, like you said, you want to continue in the future. And those two things, like, is that something that really helps you? I know you said dance, you do it just for fun. And for acting and modeling, is it something that you do just for fun as well?
Um, Modeling is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
so that is definitely for fun. Acting, my dad's actually an actor, so
Wow.
I started it because he did acting and he used to dance when he was younger too.
Yeah.
So I kind of just all started it from my dad. I
Yeah.
used to hate dancing. I never wanted to put on the ballet tights or
Really?
anything,
Wow.
but now I love it, and I'm glad my parents made me
Yeah.
stay in dance.
Yeah, of course, it's amazing. I love that, and that's so true. Like I know so many people who felt like forced when they were younger, and then now they're older and they're so happy that they did it, especially at a young age too. Like some people don't start until they're 20, which is totally fine, of course, but it's so amazing, yeah, to start at such a young age. And I wanted to kind of go into, mental health, like especially with your life. And I wanted to say, was there ever a time in your life where you felt like you were really affected by mental health, or you like wanted to say, okay, yes, my mental health matters?
Um, well, I always feel like I'm getting judged. Like, I just immediately assume that somebody's, like, talking about me behind my back or something. Because you never know. Your best friend could be, like just using you for anything, or not even your best friend. So it's kind of crazy how the world works. But I just stay positive and just don't let that get to my head,
Yeah.
so then it doesn't affect me
Yeah.
personally.
No, I completely understand, and you're right. Like it's crazy when you look at it, and like you never know who's talking behind your back. You never know who's really doing something viciously or has a bad intent, like hanging out with you. And you're so right. Or I
Yeah.
know, yes, and even when it comes to mental health, I know like confiding in someone, and then they use that and they use it against you, and that can be really hard too. And that's wow, that's so interesting to hear, because a lot of people don't really talk, about how someone who's your friend can really affect your mental health, and that is so
Yeah.
true. And also, aside from fake friends, do you have any friends that are like really really passionate about what you're passionate about, and like really help you?
Yes. My best friend is named Scout. I met her at dance when I first came to Bobby's, and she's always been there for me ever since. And she's helped me through so much things, and I helped her too.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing friend. We hang out like every single weekend.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. I love that. And that's really nice to have someone who's there for you always, and someone who you can confide in. And that's amazing and wonderful. And yeah, and I also want to say, when it comes to like social media, I know because you have a platform, of course, and you dance on that. Um, I don't know, maybe you never received any, which is wonderful, but like if you were to ever see a negative comment, how do you bounce back from that, or like how do you ignore those comments?
Um, well, I would just like first start off by like just deleting it and ignoring it. And just like if they say something, I just have to know that I don't believe in that, and I don't believe in being negative or anything or being rude to other people. I have a lot of friends that don't say the nicest things about other people, but I just try to like tell them to like not be rude to other people, and because it can really affect people in like ways that nobody knows. Like, so yeah.
No, of course, yeah, you're right. And you never know who's behind the screen, and they could be going through so much more than you can ever imagine.
Yeah.
And then your words could really affect them, even though they're saying something mean. And I love that mindset and that positive mentality. And I wanted to also, I want to go into, like, as I'm talking about social media, do you ever feel like it can be a toxic environment? Or, because it has its benefits, growing your platform, showing your dance moves, and yeah,
Yeah.
people discovering you. But also, do you feel like it has that toxic aspect to it?
So, I see a few people like if you're like famous, like there's this TikToker named Charlie D'Amelio that got famous off of TikTok.
Yeah.
If you get like really famous, there's gonna be people hating on you. but it doesn't mean that what they're saying is true just because they're saying it. That's why you can't always believe what people say, because you know what you've done and you know what's right, and you know that you just can't let it like bring it to you, and that she gets a lot of hate comments, and like if any TikToker or anybody in general says something not very nice, it can really, people can really take it in, and so then they call it canceled and they cancel them, which I don't think is the best thing, because they should be able to have like they should be able to get a chance to like redo, and like just because they made a mistake doesn't mean that they're canceled and their life is over, because everybody makes mistakes and nobody is perfect, and it's like social media can be very crazy sometimes.
Of course, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about, and cancel culture and everything, and I know it's crazy. And I wanted to go into what you said, like when it comes to faith, like I feel like that's so true. Like everyone has made mistakes, everyone has done something wrong. So, forgive and educate them instead of just canceling them or threatening them with their lives. Like you said, Charlie D'Amelio and Nessa Barrett, I don't know if you know them too, but the whole like TikToker, Chase Hudson. Yeah. So like I completely understand what you mean. And I also want to say, it's crazy because Charlie D'Amelio is one of the most positive influencers ever, and she receives the most hate. And also with her dancing videos, and how could some people would say, how could someone receive hate for dancing? You're just expressing yourself, and people still hate on that, and it's just crazy to see. And I'm so happy that you brought that up. And I also want to say that when it comes to being a dancer, a lot of people can be negative when it comes to how you dance, how you look, like those kinds of things that should not matter. But social media can be a crazy place, just like you said. And I wanted to go into like when it's a hard time. Do you ever like take a mental health day or take a break from social media and just relax?
So right now I'm taking a little break from social media. I haven't posted in a little bit to just like flush out. I've been like, music always helps with everything. It's like just listening to a sad song makes me cry though, because it's you really take it, you feel the music and the rhythm and the words, like how they explain things. Especially because my solo last year was If I Should Lose You, and I made it for my grandma. So, because like I love her so much, and she's getting older, and I never want her to pass away because I love her and I love hanging out with her. And right now it's really hard because I can't like go in her house and like eat together, like hug each other, and so it's like really different.
No, I completely understand, and it's really hard during this time. That is so true, and that's amazing that you're taking Mental Health Day, and also, because I know that at such a young age, like a lot of people are affected by mental health, and especially from social media. And I wanted to say, do you believe and feel like your generation is affected by mental health as well?
Yes, I feel like all the kids these days do not do very good stuff. I've never done any of the stuff that they've ever done. And back in the day, everybody was so sweet and so nice. But now these days, these kids do such bad stuff. They all like vape and do bad stuff. Like at this age, especially, is terrible. Just in general, it's not very good. But you just like, you can't judge a book by its cover, and they probably have something behind it. That's probably why, because these teenage years aren't the best. Because you like the anxiety and all that behind it gives you like a lot of pressure and stuff.
That's so true. Yes, no, I totally agree. It's crazy to see. Because I'm 17, and it's crazy to see that people have done so many things at such a young age. And yes, mental health can definitely come into the factor, like, with social anxiety, anxiety just on an everyday basis. And that's really crazy to see, how many people are changing. And just like you said, back in the day, everyone was nice, sweet, kind, and then it's been like kind of like a shift. And I completely understand what you mean. And I wanted to ask you again, when it comes to like school and such, or like friends, or drama, if that makes sense. Uh, how do you manage those things, and how do you push past any drama, or friendship drama, or not falling into peer pressure from your peers?
So I decided to be homeschooled for middle school for dance and like acting and modeling. But for elementary school and preschool and kindergarten, I did go to school. And in elementary school, it was different. It's nothing like middle school. Everybody was so sweet and kind, and nobody did anything bad. They were just like, might have been the popular kids or whatever, and then the non-popular kids. But whenever there was a fight between a friend or a friend group, I would always be the one to like break it up and tell them, hey, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes, and we just got to live past that and move on, because the like God always says, the greatest thing to give somebody is forgiveness. And you always have to learn to forgive and not like be rude or anything. So like I've always broken up the fights, because there was this time in my school where the boys and the girls, they had this whole argument because the guys weren't being very nice to the girls. Like they all had girlfriends and boyfriends in elementary school. And it was really funny.
Yeah.
But I was in the middle of the boys and the girls, because I like playing basketball, and any boys, like it's not really boy or girl sports, but I like playing just any sports, and so I would always be playing the sports with the boys, but then the girls also liked me, and so like I was in the middle of both of the groups, and they were both having me like tell each other what was said, and I was just like, I was kind of in the middle of it all, and I didn't really like it, because I didn't know what to do. The guys were like, be on my side, the girls were like, be on our side, and it was just really tough. So I luckily did not get in trouble for anything, so I didn't really do anything, which is good that I was in the middle of it, but wasn't good at the same time.
Of course, and you're like the peacemaker, and that's wonderful. And I know those things can be so stressful, and it's kind of sad that so many people have to go through that. But I hope it's past and gone, of course, and like things are better. But that's like so it's so crazy to see, because that's almost like normalized nowadays. Like almost boys and girls always fighting, or people even having relationships in elementary school and middle school. It's normalized, and I feel like it's almost like you have to have it, or that's what peer pressure tells you. And it's not true, of course. And I lastly wanted to like say, how do you, when you're going through a hard day, or you don't feel like going to dance, or everything is just really overwhelming with school, how do you push past that? And how do you have any advice for anyone out there who is feeling stressed out about dancing or acting or modeling, or they feel like they're not good enough, or they're not pretty enough? And do you have any advice for them?
So just a recommendation is every morning when you wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and just give yourself one compliment of the day that you just thought was amazing, or you did good. Or every night you can tell yourself what you did good in the day, what you had fun. Just don't think of any of the negative stuff. Just move it away and start a new day fresh. And even if that you think you're going to get judged, or you think it's not going to be okay, it's always going to be okay. You just can't let it get to your head. And if you don't have any friends, or like try to make new friends, because the best thing to is
Oh,
through
sorry.
that time.
Okay.
And
Oh, sorry, you cut out in the middle a little bit after you said friends. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's my computer. You said, so sorry. Yeah, if you could just, sorry, I don't know what happened.
it's the advice I would give people for that is to just know that it's okay, and life is going to be okay. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's the same. Everybody's different. Even if they're twins, they still have something different about them. There's always one trait that has to be different no matter what. And you just can't let anything take it in. You can be friends with anyone. Just if they're not very nice, just still be friends with them. But just you don't have to be best friends with them. There's nothing saying that you have to be friends with like just try to be in the nice friend group and not be around all the like bad and negative people, because that can just bring you down, and from hearing it so much can make you end up talking like that, and it's just not the best thing. And the advice I would give is to just always know who you are, and that you are worthy, and God made you for a reason, and you wouldn't be in this world and in this life, and if you weren't doing good. Just be who you are and stay true to yourself.
Wow, that's amazing. I that was absolutely wonderful. And everything that you said was so, of course, everything that you said was so inspirational and so wonderful. And I want to say again, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to sit down and speak with you. Your advice was so wise and it was so wonderful. And everything that you said was great. And I want to say again, I'm definitely going to pray for your grandpa, and I hope that they're doing great. Of course, of course. And and anyone who's watching out there, we all go through such hard times, and we all have struggles, and none of us are perfect, just like Natalie said. And yes, just remember that you're wonderful, you're loved, and you're not alone. And please stay strong and know that everything happens for a reason, but you'll never be alone. And again, thank you so much, Natalie, for this amazing opportunity. And I hope that of course, and I hope that anyone who's watching knows that you are loved again. And I will link all of Natalie's social media, her Instagram, all down below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoyed this interview. Thank you.